Hi, hello, it's Dublin. What's going on? Come eat and drink with me, because you might learn something or discover something new. And I think this one might be kind of interesting to expose everyone to, out of the pure fact that Selyem isn't necessarily known for their Zinfandel. No, this is a legendary Pinot Noir producer out of Russian River Valley area. And I just was like, wow, they produce Zinfandel? Because their Pinots are absolutely beautifully made. They have a huge waiting list and all that, to try to get their wines. They are priced, pretty definitely in the expensive region. Yeah, yep, you kind of gotta be willing to blow a little for their Pinots. I personally, don't usually pony up to that extent, but their Zinfandel here is under $100, so I thought it'd be interesting to try out what can a legendary Pinot Noir producer do with this kind of a grain. Because Zin, for me, man, it's really hit or miss. Sometimes it's just so jammy and extracted, especially like out of the Central California area, but even out of Russian River and and Dry Creek and all those areas. It's just like, it's so heavy. But if they do it right, and there's another producer that we did a Cabernet on Lambourne family vineyards, they do it right as well. They do an amazing Zinfandel that's very sophisticated, beautifully structured. It has balance. Imagine that. A Zin with balance. It's not just whoop-a, 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 fruit juice, jam, 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 jam. You need some of that backbone, some of that structure. So let's see what this guy has. This is a single vineyard. I'm not even going to try. Which is, I find also interesting. I'm not saying you don't see single vineyard Zins, but it's not necessarily something that's overly prevalent either. So if you're going to do single vineyard, that means that vineyard must be really special. And yeah, this one is, because these have 100-year-old vines. And if like the really, really good Zins, they're usually from the old vines. You'll even see some out of the Lodi area. And they love throwing the old vine thing on the label. And there is no specific law as to why, how old the vine has to be called old vine, at least that I know of. So kind of like the reserve bottle, you can kind of just throw it on there like, well, it's past 15 years, is old, right? This is a 100-year-old vine. That is special because vines don't always last that long, and they don't always produce good fruit when they're that old either. So without hesitation, let's give this a little whirl. I'm excited. Because not only do I not often, have a special bottle from this kind of a producer, but to try something that's just kind of like a little bit off the cuff, something that they're just not known for, but the talent and the access to the amazing vineyards that a producer like this has, it's got to be good, right? Right? Let's give this a little sniffy sniff, see what's going on in there. It's definitely a nose, but it's promising actually, because it's not just smashing me, flooring me with alcohol and fruit right away. So that's a really good sign, because Zins are usually pretty high in alcohol, and you smell it right away in the nose, and you definitely get it on the palate. But this one, I'm just getting, your traditional kind of cherry and red fruits. A little bit of oak in there, some of that spice. A lot of winemakers like to put spice in their notes, and that's oak. But it is what it is, but that's not a bad thing. It's when you don't have balance and it's overly oaked, that's when it's a bad thing. That's usually when it comes across as like vanilla, because it's like a really heavily toasted oak, 100% new. You're going to get a lot of vanilla out of that. But a little bit of spice is not bad, because it balances out some of those fruits. A little hint of blueberry in there, which you've watched in my videos of Pinots. I love a little of that blueberry, because blueberry, it's not so in your face. That means it has some good balance as well. Unlike those really extracted currenty type of, dark fruits, and red fruits where it's all raspberry and heavy cherry. Nice nose. Yeah, it's not leaving from the glass, but it's nice. It seems pleasant. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Yeah. It does not let down. These folks know what they're doing here. They're like, let's make a wine that's kind of impress Dublin a little bit. All right, let's gear it towards his palate. This is kind of what it tastes like. I'm not saying they did that. They might have, but I'm not saying they did that. Absolutely. It really does have some nice structure to it. There is some tannin. There's good acidity in the finish. Up front, nice dark fruits. There's like a nice boysenberry with like some spice going through there. And definitely on the finish, you get some of that blueberry just like you do in the nose. And I love a wine that has a marriage between the nose and the palate. So it's really harmonious. This thing, so far, first couple sips, I'm actually pretty impressed with. Yeah, it's like some cranberry in there, definitely raspberry. Usually Zin, it's like so much cherry, you don't know what to do with it. And then kind of smack you around with like some black fruits too, but it's usually, sometimes with Zins, it's like cherry cough syrupy, because they have that alcohol. To this, there's no burn, there's no heavy alcohol at all. So that's kind of interesting. I thought that you had to list it. But it is not up front with alcohol, which with a lot of Zins, that's why I don't usually drink a ton of them. This one doesn't have it. And it has all that complexity that you would want out of a 100-year-old vine. It's really, has some of that earthiness going on. Like I said, with that nice boysenberry, has some blueberry coming through on the finish. Good structure with a little bit of tannin rip, not too much. And the finish has a nice, beautiful, clean, crisp acidity. That's thing you could age and just absolutely kill it with complexity and balance. This is a beautiful Zin. You can pair this with so many different things. Wow. I'm almost embarrassed to admit as to why the second reason I got this bottle and what I had in mind pairing with it. Usually with like a Zin or Syrah, I love like barbecue. If you're doing like a Texas style, brisket or some ribs, whatever, nothing too slathery, but it has usually the sweetness that can handle in the body to handle some of those like bigger, kind of boldier, smoky meats. With some of those, if you do the barbecue sauce thing, it can stand up to that as well. Or a lot of wines just get destroyed by that powerful sweetness. For this wine, you can absolutely pair that with that. You can pair this with any kind of red meat, really. But what I was going to pair it with was a spicy Italian sausage pizza. I know, like this is my pizza wine, really? I just thought that it would be really good to handle and be able to withstand the spice and the power of this Italian sausage with these pepperonis. I started teaching a style pizza, I'm not sitting there thinking Domino's. Like it is a well-crafted pizza. It's going to have quality mozzarella. It's going to, it is Dublin. Not going to get Domino's and pair it with this kind of wine. To sum it up, I'm really impressed with the depth and complexity that this Zinfandel brings. I'm not saying that they're all like dumbed down, but they usually don't bring this kind of sophistication to the table. And for Dublin, I like my sophistication. I love a bottle that exceeds my expectations. And I love something that, comes at a price and I feel like is warranted actually. They have the 100-year vines. They're sourcing it from something special. And, they're putting a price on it that reflects that, but they're not gouging it where they're like, oh, $150 or some ridiculous absurd price. I got this, I think, for around $90. And yeah, that is, on the higher end of the spectrum of, a lot of people that would be buying wines. But man, if you're looking for a killer Zin and you want something special, I highly recommend this bottle. And you know why? You should go out and get one, because gosh darn it, you deserve it. Go out there and take a bite of the apple, have some fun, get something new and interesting, and this definitely is in that category. So, cheers everyone, have some fun out there, enjoy, take care.